Shalom, this is JD-23 coming at you with another PlayStation 4 Planetside 2 weapon review. Today we're looking at the Razor GD-23 for the new conglomerate. This weapon you can use on the light assault and engineered classes, and it's going to be one of the badass weapons you can pick up from the NC arsenal, one of the premier weapons. The Razor GD-23 is nothing to be fucked with. And today we're going to get into the stats, recommended fittings, and other overall suggestions going to allow you to find success on the battlefield. Now let's get into this right here. Now when you're talking about the Razor GD-23, you're talking about one of the most reliable weapons in the carbine class. The Razor's coming in at 167 damage at 10 meters and 125 damage up to 70 meters. You're looking at a 6 to 7 shot kill on a minimum HP hostile unit. And the DPS is clocking in at a maximum 1530 DPS. 550 RPM is what you're getting. While that's not super fast, it tends to get the job done, and it allows you to manage your recoil at multiple ranges. And we're going to get into some of these stats. It's going to allow you to see it's very reliable at all kinds of ranges. Now the Razor has a time to kill of approximately 0.65 to 0.75 seconds. It may not be the best in its class up close, but at range you're very accurate, and it's much more reliable than other weapons out there, partially because it has a 560 meters per second muzzle velocity, the best in its class and among the best in the game. When you're talking about a carbine, the Razor is a laser beam when you're talking about aiming down the sight, making it very easy to use for newer players or pro veterans that are trying to seek those headshots to get a faster time to kill. Much easier to do with the Razor. With the high velocity ammunition, you're complementing the Razor's standard loadout that also includes a foregrip compensator and the Tech Light 1X red dot sight. HVMO increases the muzzle velocity to over 600 meters per second, plus the foregripper compensator help you manage recoil. Trying to defend the tech plant? Go ahead and throw the grenade bandolier with the Razor, and notice that you can harass the enemy with ease. Using the grenade bandolier, you can go ahead and take out grips of these hoe ass motherfuckers that keep spawning on that sunder. Keep them locked down until your demolition crew could come in and clean up the garbage. And remember, typically what you want to do is keep your distance away from the hostile groups. And what you notice with the Razor, again, effective range 20 to 70 meters, where aiming down sight is much more preferred, depending on which attachments you have on your weapon. And if you've been searching for a weapon with the fast reload speed that gets you in and out of the action and back in it again, the Razor's fantastic at it. You're looking at a 1.66 reload speed short and a 2-second long reload. Still very easily manageable where you're getting back into action and you're rocking and rolling. Now for the Spec Ops fitting, right now I'm running the laser sight suppressor, high velocity ammunition, and the good old Tech Light 1X, but you can run whatever sight you're comfortable with. Now with suppressors, normally what it does is it lowers your muzzle velocity. Since the Razor has a high velocity anyways, high velocity ammo coupled with that keeps it at a very high rate. Now basically what this means is it's a point and shoot type of weapon. It'll still hit pretty much wherever you're aiming as long as you're hitting your target. You're gonna put them down in the ground. You can also turn off the laser sight by holding up on the D-pad, but it won't get rid of your bonuses. Now when I was harassing this weapon, I was forcing myself to push the boundaries of it and try it in ways that I'm not supposed to be using it at, such as close quarters combat. Throwing on the laser sight attachment, I was continuously impressed with its performance, and that I was actually able to get some pretty decent kills and win some 1v1s by strafing. and making sure that my rounds is hitting. Now, this weapon not built around close quarters combat, so this is something that I have to give it extra credit on, and credit's gotta go where credit's due. You know what I'm saying? The Razor's not built around close quarters combat, yet it was able to hold its own in some situations. Not all situations, but enough to impress me nonetheless. Now what you see here, positioning is very important for the light assault class, and since you have that jetpack, be sure to take advantage of that at every given opportunity. But what you want to do is make sure you keep your distance a little bit further back than with other harassment type of weapons for the light assault. You want to use that effective medium range to really cushion yourself from the enemy and use that distance to take out as many as you can without them realizing. Notice I'm using the Spec Ops suit there. Once you're comfortable using the Razor, be sure to experiment a little bit with some of the different fittings and attachments that you can put. Mix it up, find your own comfort zone, and get to cracking on these assholes that think they go hard. Because they don't go hard, but the Razor definitely does. What you'll tend to find if you're looking for more of a marksman setup is that it's quite interchangeable, and that depends on your own preference and control of the weapon when firing fully automatic. Right here I'm running the foregrip compensator. Also I tend to run with the high velocity ammo, but I would say it's optional until you're used to the recoil pattern, and I would say keep it off until you're ready, because the recoil pattern of the Razor tends to go up and to the right ever so slightly, but it's quite exaggerated when you do have the HV ammo rounds equipped. Just know that it does take some getting used to, but once you're ready, you'll be able to handle it very well fully automatic. And I also recommend for extreme ranges, which the Razor is very good at pushing the boundaries of what a carbine can do. Taking the target out at extreme ranges, you just want to either 1 or 2 shot burst them until you're picking at them until the life is taken out. So just keep that in mind.
Killer, see if you can get on top of the SU and snipe people from up there. Nobody ever thinks to go up there.
Come on, we're losing this.
The most important thing that I can tell you when it comes to using this weapon, or pretty much any weapon, is to fulfill your role as often as you can and stick with your squad's orders. Try to do what it takes to get your squad to win. Right here is a great example where we're trying to move into a biolab using a certain warp from a nearby base to try to take over this biolab, which we all know these are fairly hard to take over. If I'm able to help my teammate by taking out high priority targets that are trying to move in on our objective, then that means that this is going to allow my team to move in, do what they need to do, jack in and jack out. And I'm just going to show this clip right here to let you know this is what the Razor is capable of doing. Well, you're not really wasting a whole lot of rounds trying to take targets down. It's very efficient with it, but I probably would have, if I were to do anything different here, I probably would have ran the ammunition belt so that I can carry a few extra clips to take out more and more hostiles, because I'm trying to take out the engineers and also their medics to make sure that their front line is not fortified enough to push into the SU to take it back under their control. So what you'll notice here, I do run out of ammo, but running with the sidearm still managed to get some stuff done, and I had a lot of fun doing it. And it eventually led to us taking the whole entire biodome under our control.
Whenever you damage a friendly soldier or vehicle, you will accumulate grief points. If you get too many grief points, we will disable your weapon.
We need engines on the SU.
There's a C4 ferry in there, god damn it.
And right about here is when my team started moving to the SUU, so that meant that I didn't have the time to go reload my ammo at a nearby engineer, so I had to stay up there. Conserving my ammunition was imperative to making sure that the enemy front line wasn't fortified enough to make any kind of push, so I usually just focused on their infantry that were like the medics and engineers, like I said before. Very important to make sure to pick the right targets to go for.
Well, medics probably. I don't know. Yeah. Nice. Need to get prepared now.
And just like that, mission accomplished. So I gotta say, my team was working very well and coordinated that day, and we were able to take over a lot of bases together. Everybody fulfilling their roles, and I gotta give a shout out to the Razor for being an all-around great weapon. This weapon easily gets a 10 out of 10, and the reason why I rated that is because not only does it fulfill its own role very, very well, but it also was able to surprise me up close in the CQC combat where it typically wasn't able to do that. It actually served me very reliable, and I was quite impressed with it all around. This has been JDez09 with a review of the Razor. Look out for the 19A Fortuna review coming out next because I just unlocked it. That's the Directive NC Carbine. Shalom.